My name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite superhero board games. Now, first of all, I do know that the word superhero has been tossed around a lot these days, so I'm going to put some clarifications on what do I mean by superheroes. So first of all, yes, we're going to do superheroes. So basically anybody who's in a mask. And number two, there's a lot of superheroes that are not consistent of, any specific companies. There's other companies who have other superhero comic books, but this list is mainly going to be sticking to Marvel and DC. So the big dogs, the big guns, we're mostly going to talk about that. And it's also going to be it's not going to be by any form of favoritism. I wrote the list where it's going to be a DC game, then a Marvel game, then a DC game, then a Marvel game, then a DC game, then a Marvel game, etc., etc., etc. There's no favoritism in this at all. So just because, since it's DC Marvel, which only means that a Marvel game is going to be my number one, that does not mean I like it more than my number two pick. That just means that I needed a Marvel game at that time. So and I also want to say there is no HeroClix on this list. I know that there are a lot of fans of HeroClix out there. I just have not played it enough where I feel like I can give it enough justice where a lot of the HeroClix fans would be satisfied. But without further ado, let's jump into this. Okay, so my number 10 is Wonder Woman, Challenge of the Amazons. This one is fairly new, so therefore I haven't really played it that much. But I do like the design of the game. I like the artwork that it's going with there. And I kind of think it's very refreshing that we're getting a DC superhero that's not Batman. I'm a little surprised that Superman wasn't the first choice, but, Wonder Woman's awesome. She's got a great movie series going on right now. I know she's one of the most popular characters in the DCEU. It's a very, very interesting game. Very good. I should point this out. I'm not actually going to talk about how to play these games because I have how to play videos. So feel free to check out any of these out because I do have some how to play videos on some of these games. But I just want to point that out, that this is going to just be strictly talking about my opinion about this. Kind of like a mini review. Okay, so my number 9 is Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight Games. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was really good. It's a deck building game. It's got a lot of elements where you're all teaming up to fighting a mastermind. So it's a little similar to Legendary, but there is a lot of differences where it does stand on its own. I've only played this once and it was at Gen Con, so it was a demo. It wasn't the full version, so that's why it's on number 9. So that's why Wonder Woman and Marvel Champions are there. I just haven't played them enough where I feel like they should have a good spot. Plus, they're fairly new in this. I usually kind of wait about 5 years before I put something down a little more lower. But I really do enjoy Marvel Champions. I played as Iron Man the last time I played this game. Really fun. If you are willing to spend that much money, because it is Fantasy Flight after all, they don't come cheap. If you're willing to try that, I do recommend you check out this game as well as the previous game. But I do recommend that. So yeah, number 9, Marvel Champions. And my number 8 is the DC Comics deck building game. I'm not going to get into which deck building game is more superior, this one or the Legendary one. I do enjoy this one, but I do understand, but I haven't, the reason why this is so low is because I feel like my experience with this game, I only learned how to play it once and was a friend. He doesn't quite teach you the exact way to play a game. So I'm not even sure if I learned the proper rules. So that's why it's lower on my list. I just don't want to say, well, my experience was pretty bad with this game, so therefore this game must be bad. I don't like doing that. This game, you can use like virtually any DC hero, so that's why I kind of think it's pretty cool, because DC superheroes, if you're not Batman or Superman, or heck, Wonder Woman now. If you don't fall into those three, you don't get that much attention. And I'm pretty sure it's at 4 now. So if you don't fall under the category of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, or Aquaman, you're not going to get that much acknowledgement. So it's really cool that they have a game where you can actually see all the different superheroes and supervillains that aren't Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Aquaman. So yeah, there we go. Number 8, the DC Comics deck building game. Okay, so Marvel Legendary is my number 7 pick. This one is a very fun game where you get to play as you don't get to play as a specific character, you get to play against masterminds. They use villains and henchmen, and they have schemes and master strikes and all sorts of other stuff. There's like traps and different locations that they get stronger in now. I also like all the different superheroes. You got Guardians of the Galaxy, you got Thor and Heroes of Asgard, you got the Avengers, you got the X-Men, you got the Marvel Knights. So many Fantastic Fours in this. It's a really fun game. I do have a how to play video on this game, so once you're done with this video, you can check that out. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I do think it is a great beginner game, definitely. So if you really want to get into deck builder games, I do recommend you check that one out. It's also in my top 10 intro to board gaming, or one of our. It's in one of. It's not in my list. I think it's in Jordan's list. I think she put it in her list, but it's in there. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. Marvel Legendary, number 7. All right, my number 6 is Batman Arkham City Escape. I do enjoy this game a lot. It is a 2-player game. It's a very strategy-heavy game where I believe one player plays as Batman and the other player plays as the other villains. It's been a while since I played this game. Trying to remember how to play it, but it's based off of the Batman Arkham series of video games, which I do enjoy playing immensely. And I need to get back into playing this game. I need to try to get myself a copy of this so I can get back into it. But really enjoy it. It's got a little more intense artwork and everything. But it's super fun, super enjoyable. Number 6, Batman Arkham City Escape. Okay, so my number 5 is Marvel HeroScape. And I really love HeroScape. It is one of my favorite miniatures games of all time. I totally agree with Tom Vassell of Dice Tower on that. I think it's a great one. It's a great way to get people into miniatures games. It is so sad what happened to that game, though. So sad. I really hope that they bring it back someday in its full glory. But the Marvel HeroScape is a standalone game all on its own. It's an expansion, but it's a standalone game as well. So you have enough where you can build your own little city, and you can have Doctor Doom, Galactus, the Silver Surfer, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Abomination. You can have all these villains and heroes team up or fight against each other, and it's really cool. It's, you roll a die. If you get a blank, nothing happens. If you get some swords, you get a hit. For every shield that your opponent rolls, though, they block that hit. So you got to try to damage your opponents, get those villains or heroes out of there. You can have the villains and the heroes team up. You can have the heroes fight against the villains. Really fun. Wish they had some expansion packs for that. That would have been really cool. That way you could have just your own little like Marvel HeroScape game if you wanted to. But unfortunately, that was just a once-off. I guess it was pretty good though. But yep, number 5, Marvel HeroScape. All right, number 4 is the DC Funkoverse. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like Funko Pops whatsoever. So when I saw that there is going to be a game based around these little big-headed statues that everybody wants to collect, I rolled my eyes. But at Gen Con last year, I I had some time to kill. I had already demoed like most of the games that I wanted to demo, and so I just thought I'd try the DC Funkoverse. I didn't try the Harry Potter one because, yeah, the Harry Potter Funko Pops kind of scare me a little bit. But I tried out the DC Funkoverse game. I had a blast playing it. It was really fun. A lot of strategy needs to go in. There's some strategy that needs to go into it, so it's really fun, really enjoyable. It's a great game, and that's why I put it at number 4 on this list. Okay, so my number 3 is the game Marvel Codenames. I've played Codenames before, the original, and I've also played Marvel Codenames. Marvel Codenames is basically very similar to the original Codenames. The only difference is you can have pictures on there as well. So you can think of something that's on the picture to make it easier. And in fact, I actually recommend that if you're new to Marvel Codenames or even the Disney Codenames, but we're not really talking about that one right now. We're talking about Marvel Codenames. You should use the pictures. That way you can think of something that can have something to do with what's in the picture versus the word, which could probably give somebody like, what's that supposed to be? So, yeah, it's really fun. It plays just like Codenames. You play it. One team is like Avengers, the other team is like Hydra. It's Shield and Hydra. So one team is Shield, one team is Hydra, and you have to try to get everything before Thanos completes the Infinity Gauntlet and snaps half of human life out of existence. We all know how that ends if you've seen Endgame, so it's not pretty. But yep, number 3, Marvel Codenames. All right, number 2 is Gotham City Under Siege Batman, the animated series. It is a big mouthful, just like some other games I own in my collection. But I love this game so much. The artwork really makes you feel like it's straight out of the animated series. And watching Batman the animated series was one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid. I do like this. I hope that they're going to have some expansions. I do know they have one expansion, but I hope they have an expansion where you can add more masterminds, because I definitely know we did not even crack the surface of Batman villains. There are so many Batman villains you could put in there. You could put in like the obscure guys. That's what I want to see, like the masterminds becoming the more obscure villains of Batman, like the Condiment King, Polka Dot Man, something like those guys. Would be really funny. I mean, they put the Sewer King in, so you can't get any more obscure than that. But I do hope that someday they'll have an expansion like that. But the game by itself, wonderful game. Each player gets like 4 dice of their character's color. They get to pick between Batman, Batgirl, Catwoman, Robin, and the GCPD. And you go around this 3D, folded in like city of Gotham, and you go around and you have to try to defeat all the masterminds and their henchmen and everything. So you got to do thugs, henchmen, and ninjas. And if you manage to clear out the city, that's great. And you go through these different 4 acts of a story, and every time the act gets more and more difficult and everything. I just find this game so enjoyable. The theme is great. Everything about this game is great, and that is why it is number 2 on this list. All right, number 1, Thanos Rising by The Op. And now, like I said, I don't favor any of these more than the other, because it's just, I went DC Marvel, DC Marvel, DC Marvel, because if it was seriously, I mean, honestly, I'd probably put Gotham City Under Siege ahead of this game. Not to say that it's any better, I just like Batman the Animated Series. But this has all the characters from the movies, so all those characters, so they don't look like a comic book version of the character. It's like, Chadwick Boseman, Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr. It's all those guys. So they look like so it's like, pictures of the actors, the performers from Infinity War and Endgame. Really good. You put like this big figurine of Thanos right in the center. You move him around these different sectors, and the goal is for him to try to get all the Infinity Stones, take out one of your main heroes or some of the extra heroes. I don't want to say sidekicks or side heroes. It's just there's main heroes and then there's not main heroes, I guess. But if he accomplishes any of his 3 goals, you lose the game, and the only way you can win is by taking out 10 of his henchmen. And it's super fun. A lot of detail went into it. The theming's great. I enjoyed that game very, very much. Number 1, Thanos Rising. Go pick yourself up a copy if you are a big Marvel fan. Okay, so that finishes my top 10 Marvel and DC games list. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite games are. If there's any game that you felt like I missed, also let me know about that in there. Like I said, unfortunately, HeroClix was not in this list. Yep. All the games excluding the HeroScape game are available to buy virtually at any store. If you want to get the Marvel HeroScape game, I do recommend checking out eBay. That'd probably be the best place to get it if you want to play that game. But as far as everything else goes, you can get this at Amazon, Target, Walmart, all your major retail stores. Cool Stuff, I believe, has a lot of this stuff as well. So check them out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, hit that notification bell, and subscribe while you're at it to be notified when we release new videos just like these. If you really enjoyed the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. We just did a whole renewing of our pricing and rewards and everything. So there's a link in the description if you are interested. I want to thank our current Patreon supporters. Your help helps videos like these. So thank you very much for that. Be on the lookout for our next top 10 video. But until then, thanks for the views.